Hello, it is I, Piggo, and today I have the pleasure of naming the next big JoJo game. So, let's look at the new possible names for it. A Bizarre Week, Your Bizarre Failed Marriage, Project JoJo, JoJo's Bizarre Heart Failure, A Universal Pandemic, JoJo, Your Life Ends, S, the JoJo game, Project Star. Yeah, I like that one. Project Star began development around September of 2020. There were two main people working on the game, Cameron and Nate. It began as a passion project after the developers enjoyed Stand Up Road, another large JoJo Roblox game, which as of the moment isn't up and is being reworked. They wanted to attempt at creating their own JoJo Roblox game, and Project Star was born. I'd like to elaborate that the game was literally being worked on by just two individuals who had a passion for game development. Bro, could you imagine an entire game this high quality with just two people working on it? I mean, God, for a AAA game, they need two people who just come up with a new game title. Anyways, come March 2021, they make an official Project Star Discord server, and manage to build up around 7,000 members, which is already a remarkable number for a game which hasn't even been released yet. However, Cameron and Nate are about to receive a huge boost in popularity. Project Star manages to get other Roblox game Discord communities to give them shoutouts, the more notable ones being Grand Peace Online and the Universal Time. And by August 2021, the Discord has hit around 50,000 members. Insane for a game that hasn't even released yet. Could you imagine being born into a world where 50,000 people are already excited for you to exist? No? God, you're such a loser. Anyways, come September 17th, 2021, the game is finally ready to be launched to the public. And the day it released, it had 20,000 Roblox users playing the game. An incredible number for a JoJo game on day one. Even when a Bizarre Day came back for a week or so, it struggled to hit 20,000 and shortly dropped down to about 4,000. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if that's a statement how great this game truly is, or if it just goes to show how truly awful a Bizarre Day went downhill. Yeah, scratch that. How about we actually play Project Star and see what it's all about? Well, right from the get-go, this game I can tell is instantly an RPG. From the cheesy indirect tutorial dialogue and the fact, it literally says it's an RPG game in the description. Just to be clear, I'm not a turn-based battles guy, but I mean, I could assume this game wouldn't be turn-based, just down to the fact I doubt any JoJo Roblox game would want to make that the gameplay style. Anyway, so from what I can gather, the game starts off with you on your first day joining the Speedwagon Foundation. So I walk over to speak to the captain of Speedwagon HQ, and he informs me that the training begins almost immediately.
It's good to have you on the team. Think fast!
We're then informed that it's possible for us to just skip the long, painful training with the Speedwagon HQ if we can simply just beat Trainer Tom in a duel. We're told they've offered this challenge for over 20 years and not a single person has ever bested Tom. I then proceed to beat Tom in a fight with little to no effort whatsoever. Alright, nice! So we skipped the training and we have managed to join the Speedwagon HQ. With no effort, hell yes! Okay, then just after that, this man barges through the door and tells us there's a crisis happening at the Cujo residence, and he has been ordered to send Tom immediately. Yeah. Well, that might be hard because it looks like I broke his fucking spine. Anyway, since Tom is going through extreme mental and physical trauma, we're told to take his place and go to Egypt with the Speedwagon Foundation to help sort out this so-called crisis. So after a helicopter ride, we find ourselves in Egypt at Speedwagon Foundation set up base camp. And wow, this game feels and looks so professionally made. For a game made by two people, I'm in awe at these animations, scenery, and overall ambience. Also, I may be biased, but the animations are so much better than something like in YBA. But then again, I prefer R6 animations, so it's another thing down to opinion. It has this bouncy, cartoony feel to the animations, which I love. Anyway, the first order of business is to speak to the Speedwagon escort. However, I decided to have a good old-fashioned conversation with Dishwasher Teddy. He addresses himself in third person multiple times. He asks me if I could find some scorpion claws for him. I don't know what a dishwasher who addresses himself in third person wants with scorpion claws, but I give in. This whole Speedwagon work is minimum wage anyways. I then speak to Camp Chef Rosselli, who's pissed off because someone stole the cactus juice. I ask him what it is, his anger issues trigger and he freaks out because I don't know about only the most delectable juices found in these deserts. So I offered to get him some more cactus juice and walk off to speak to the Speedwagon escort. They ask me if I'm the guy who's supposed to take care of someone called Chaka. I say I'm ready, and then they take me away to go deal with him. I don't know exactly what makes me qualified for the job, all I did was break Tom's spine, and now they're taking me to someone who they have on their wanted list. Anyway, I get casually dropped off at Chaka's place. No security, they just kind of drop me off at the entrance. Okay then. So I dropkick one of his friends and beat him to death with my bare fists. I then get to Chaka, who is trying to use my own quirky, totally original weapon against me. And now I feel like it's a good time to discuss the base fighting in the game. Honestly, I really enjoy it. It feels really satisfying to fight opponents. There's no stamina in this game, it just has a cooldown. Also, blocking works in a way that I find really unique and functional. So basically, each time you block, you can be hit 8 times before getting stunned. However, along with that, you can perfect block and counter attacks if you time it right. I really like this system, as you can use your attacks much more freely without the need for stamina. Go in, block, attack, it's great. However, with just the base fists, it feels very similar to your average button masher, you know, Lego games, Skylanders type game. Whatever. Anyway, after bragging about how easy this fight is, I get my arse whooped and I have to do it again. I then manage to complete it on my second attempt. At this point in the game, I'm thinking how fresh this feels for JoJo Roblox games. A breath of fresh air from the standard format of all of the others that have come before it. Although, at the moment, it's not even got that much to do with JoJo, we haven't even seen any stands yet. Alright, so back to the Speedwagon escort. They thank me for beating up Chaka. Beating up? I broke his spine like I broke Tom's. The hell you mean beat up? Anyway, since I'm back, I decided to go grab some cactus juice for our old pal, Chef Rosselli. I find it in the desert, and for some reason, it's just straight up crates of wine. I thought I might have to harvest some juice, but no, it's just kind of lying there in the sand. Huh. Then I head on my way to fetch some scorpion claws from my good third person addressing Chum Teddy. On the way to the scorpions, I encounter a desert spy, who I can't hit before he just disappears. I think now is a good time to mention that I originally played this game the day after it came out. It had a very large handful of glitches. But for the quality of the game, I honestly found it to be alright. Plus, all you have to do if you encounter a bad glitch is hop to another server and it's generally fixed. So as it stands at the moment, the glitches are alright in my book. But because of the glitches, it didn't let me kill the scorpion, so I just decided to head back to base. I gave the cactus juice to Rosselli and he tells me he plans to make some cactus juice glazed scorpions. But then he suddenly comes to the realization that someone has stolen the scorpion meat as well. Jesus, I mean, these guys are running an operation. They can't even keep some homeless guy from rocking up and stealing their supplies. Anyway, no, I am done with Teddy and Rosselli messing me around, alright? So I'm off to get my next mission from Captain Jones. He asks if I can clear out some spies in a near camp, which I set off to do. Man, they better be increasing my salary for this one. So I break some more spines and report back to Captain Jones. Then he asked me to go to a bandit camp nearby and nab some, quote, vital intel we can use. So I go to the bandit camp, take down Skyra, pull a devious lick, report back to Captain Jones for a third time. After looking at the intel, he says there's troubling news because the bandits are planning a full-scale attack, and they know where they're meeting, so it's my job to go in and stop them. I realise I have a stand arrow and I stab myself, revealing my true power. Tower of Grey. Yeah. Not a good stand at all. It's the only stand in the game that can't be upgraded with the skill tree, and its primary and only move is click, which it can't combo, and it does less damage than the base punch. Right, so I don't bother using the Tower of Grey. I break into their facility, break spines, Lego Indiana Jones 2, Breath of the Wild, jump down, kill the bandit leader, I'm out of there. Now since I've arrived, I've managed to deal with most of the rogue bandits, and Speedwagon Foundation have managed to set up base of operations further within the city, without the trouble of the bandits, thanks to me. Captain Jones thanks us and tells me to go meet with Captain Sig, head of investigations and intelligence. Apparently he has a few favours for us. Well, I'll be. This work sure has resulted in a pay rise, hasn't it? So he tells me there's 2 suspicious men they've had their eyes on for a while. He wants me to go take them down, as intel says they'll be trading in a particular alleyway, where I can get the chance to jump them. I make my way to where they're trading. Oh, and I get a Roka and use it on Tower of Grey to get the Emperor on the way there. Anyway, so I bust myself in, kill the guy who was taking part in the trade, bada boom, I'm out of there. So I report back to Captain Sig and he tells me that apparently the person I killed who was taking part in the trade was using a cloned stand from a stand user they've already taken down. Along with that, we learn about this facility known as Brando Industries, which is tied in with all of this somehow. But luckily for us, Captain Sig has done some digging on the company and found they have a lab nearby. A Speedwagon Foundation camp has been set up there and we're told to go report to it ASAP. So I go to the camp and speak to the Enforcer Captain. The Enforcer Captain is shocked Captain Sig didn't even tell me the investigation plan, so he goes ahead and informs me. He tells me this whole mission is for one man, explains the Phantom Blood plot to me, and then informed me that it turns out Dio is not dead and is somehow alive, and is trying to complete his mission of taking over the world, and we're here to clear the way for Mr. Joestar and his group before they arrive in Egypt. He connects the dots of Dio's last name being Brando in this facility that was established a few years ago being named Brando Industries. But I find that incredibly stupid. Look, if Dio really wanted to do some weird plan with some facilities, why would he name it after himself? I know Dio is meant to be the self-obsessed, overconfident dick, but I don't think he's stupid enough to call his company Brando Industries, but hey, what do I know? He then informs me they seem to be investigating how to clone stands, and he informs me how dangerous it could be if they manage to succeed. He then tells me to find myself a key card off the guards to break into the facility, which I proceed to do. Necks are broken, I acquire a Brando Industries lab keycard. I break my way into the facility and enter a room with these weird lab chamber things, one of which is holding the world. So I interrogate the Brando lab scientist. He pussies out saying he isn't willing to fight and he surrenders. The Enforcer Captain then has a word with the scientist and asks how he managed to clone a stand ability. The scientist refuses. The Enforcer Captain mentally scars him. The scientist persists. He doesn't know how to clone the stand and was just watching the incubation process. The Enforcer Captain then gives in and more or less arrests the scientist. Now, after all that work, he finally tells me to go report back to Captain Sig. I report that and Captain Sig is shocked that the Enforcer Captain made me infiltrate the lab, but then is just happy that it all worked out in the end. Anyway, eager for a pay rise from working on minimum wage, I'm finally told that Mr. Joestar and his group have arrived in Egypt and they would like to meet up with the captains. Great! So we get to the meeting tent and the Stardust Crusaders along with Captain Sig and Captain Jones are waiting there for me. Joseph explains the Stardust Crusaders plot. He takes a spirit photo, gets no information, the Stardust Crusaders walk off. This is the last time we see them during the main campaign. Wow. Anyway, now stepping outside of the tent, Captain Nico wants to have a word with me. He's impressed with my work and tells me we aren't out of the woods yet. Brando Industries has an agenda that they still need to figure out. He tells me that the Speedwagon Foundation scouts in the area have reported a strange type of fruit known as a Rockakaka, and he informed me that a Rockakaka fruit has the ability to remove stands completely, and they fear Brando Industries is trying to weaponize the fruit against the Crusaders. Well, I mean, personally, that sounds like their problem. They literally came to speak to us. All they did was smash a camera, then leave. You'd think they'd at least offer to help, but no. Little old John, Mr. Piggo, has to do all the work. Man. So I get Magician's Red with a blueberry skin, I break into Brando Garden, I'm in awe of these Rockakaka plants. I kill this guy for fun even though it's not required, this is what 2.5 hours of Project Star will do to a man. I go into this supply room and have a boss fight with the head Brando Gardener. What a thrilling career path, may I add. I barely manage to kill him, I then nab about 11 Rockakaka fruits and head out of there. I do donuts in the sand with my motorcycle and report back to Captain Nico. He thanks me but tells me I need to train a little more before our next mission. Really? Do you think I'm the one who needs to train a little more? God, the Speedwagon Foundation really needs to get their priorities in. Fine, so I leave the base camp and re-roll my sand a couple of times, and I manage to get the world. God damn. Anyway, so I play Stands vs Zombies for a little while and complete a quest from this 80s skater. I get completely mauled in the Undead dungeon on hard mode. I do a bunch of other side quests and kill this cactus guy for our old friend Rosselli. I found out Kakyoin stole my glasses. I swear I thought something was up when they disappeared out of nowhere yesterday. Anyway, I get this monkeys and bananas, do some more side quests, do Hammond training with William Zappelli. Actually, this training was honestly really cool. First I had to go through this section where I had to learn to control my breathing, then I had to conquer this huge tower whilst controlling my breath and not letting my breath run out. Which, it was easy, but it was fun. I actually had to work instead of, just buying it and that being the end of it. To be honest, when he said I had to pay him $5,000 for him to teach me the way of Hammond, I didn't actually think he meant it, but here I am. So I break into this fortress and kill this Cirrus of the Moon guy, kill some mummies for SCP-049, and finally, I'm able to speak with Captain Nico about my next mission. He informs me this next mission is our biggest and final one. Damn it, if after this I finish and I don't get a pay rise, I'll be the one that the Speedwagon Foundation should be worrying about. So Nico tells me that the first thing we need to do is weaken the security inside of the building before we take down the leader. He gives me a key card and I bust into the facility. I break the most amount of security spines I have thus far. So I report back to Captain Nico and he gives me the Brando Master key card. I go back to the facility, take a ride on this rusty ass elevator, and Right, so the server I tried to fight the CEO of Brando Industries in had glitched out for me and decided to not spawn in, so I decided to server hop, and... Where is he? Right, so this game is full of glitches. Honestly, all they had to do to fix this was to teleport you to another game to fight the final boss, which would have been so easy to do. They already have a large handful of dungeons in this game that teleport you to other places, so why not have the final boss be one of those? And hell, even making it in another place, they could have a cool opening cutscene for the boss, maybe even some dialogue and exposition, but no. Instead, I get thrown into this fight 2 times and it's glitched out both times. Right, so I server hop for another time. Most of my hype for this fight is completely lost by now. But you know what they say, 3rd time's the charm. Oh god! Hell yeah. So I do my final report to Captain Nico. He thanks me for all my hard work, doesn't give me that pay rise, and that was Project Star. Compared to literally every other JoJo game I've personally played on this platform, this game was a huge breath of fresh air, and was an amazing JoJo Roblox game. Hell, even one of the best Roblox games I myself have played. And this is just the main game. We're yet to close in at all on the main multiplayer fighting game mode of this game, which I may talk about in a sequel to this video if it does well enough. The only real problem with Project Star at the moment are the glitches, but those are slowly being patched as of the game's release, and all the gameplay footage I got was taken a day after the game release, so I'd say personally it's amazing for how long it's been out for. I'd give this game a solid 8 out of 10. Yeah, let's see, time to introduce my new video segment to every single one of my videos, which is memorable quote of the video. Today's quote. Calm as a bitch. No. No. Please. Please!